Welcome to the show. I'm West Coast Wolf, your host for the Berry Black Community Reloaded. I'm coming at you with another episode that we really need to talk about. I have some data for you, and I want you to really think about what I'm going to tell you tonight because it has ramifications for us in our very shortened future. So I want to make sure you guys really hunker down, get in a quiet place, and really take this information in tonight. Because there's some depressing data I got to give it to you, though. You have to know. And I was talking to my friend the other day, and he was telling me how he grew more over the last few years of talking with me about the issues that we have in our community, and he's just been thinking about this heavier. He's talking about, we don't leave a lot for our children in today's age. Shout out to Edwin. We don't leave a lot for our children. I've been telling him for years on that, and just looking at how we're getting down to society that's really crumbling us at the core. Tonight I want to give you some numbers, though, because, I worked in corporate America for some time, and there's been this saying about a 40-hour work week, a 40-year career span. You see, in the white supremacist world that we live in, it's been identified as we all have a career span of 40 years in life. Okay, so if you subtract in the old days to have a 40-year career, which means you go to school, you get out about 18 to high school, right? You go right to college, and based on whatever degree you have, you come out being ready for business. You may take a couple of years off, and you get down to business in your career right around 25. Okay, so 25 years at a 40-year career life cycle. That'll put you at about 65 for retiring. So just take that in real quick. So a 40-year career cycle in life in America, that'll put you at 65. But we know nowadays, because the debt's been messed up so much by these clowns on Capitol Hill, these clowns in Congress, and this government that we're up under, have messed things up so bad to the fact that the retirement age now is 67 for people like me, if there's even retirement left by the time we get ready to retire. So I told myself some time ago, family, I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to be retiring at 65 years old. I'm going to retire much sooner than that. Life happens. Things derail you different ways. We all have our issues. Life goes on. So I told myself at one point in my life that I was going to retire at 45 years old. At this point, that's not going to happen right now, okay? I'm not there yet, but it's not going to happen at this point. But I have to reset my goals and my schedule and reevaluate where I am in the stream of time in my life and what needs to be done to get me to the goals that I have for myself. And I was talking to my friend Marshall. Shout out to Marshall. He retired early, much early. He's older. He's an older gentleman now. He's a senior. He retired at 55. And it's been studies showing that those who retire early and they have a lifestyle, they're doing well for themselves, they had a good retirement, they live a lot longer. And a lot of us are still here today. But those who retire much later and they just live about maybe a year or two after retirement, they die. So that's what we're talking about tonight. We have in my humble opinion, and what I've seen in life, what I've experienced, what I've studied in other people, and I see that we have what I consider a 50-year work cycle for black people in America. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. If I'm right, what does it say about our future? So today, family, I'm going to actually show you guys some, I'm going to give you some, as you listen real carefully, I'm going to give you some numbers that you can evaluate for yourself. But before I do that, I want to make sure you guys understand that we're in dire circumstances right now. Not only is it the country trying to kill us through the system, we're also doing it to ourselves because we have not released the chains mentally. We've been out of slavery a long time, but the mental chains have not been taken off. Some of it is our doing as a collective community. Some of it is the white supremacists that keep things on us, to keep us so bogged down and depressed and downtrodden and have low self-esteem because everywhere we turn, we having problems. So tonight I'm going to give you some idea of about how bad things are for us and what we need to do to change those things. But I want everybody on this phone call to listen to my voice, and those who are not able to make it to the broadcast, comment in the YouTube section. I want to hear your comments. Like our channel, The Bay Area Black Community on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, The Bay Area Black Community. You can follow us. You can request to follow us at Twitter, at Bay Area Black. And for those who have not sent their email in yet, because I'm going to kill the text campaign messaging system, this is the last month for that, family. A lot of our people just take it for granted. They don't understand it costs money to run these services, and they don't take it for granted because I'm seeing the people on the phone calls and who's on the list. They're not calling in, and they're not listening. And unfortunately for them, they'll be getting some information they're not going to get anywhere else because if you look around, family, anywhere, go anywhere in the world, there's only a few channels out there that have spent their time and dedicated to our people. Only a few channels. See, most people are on these channels looking to get some kind of clout or some kind of like, say, trying to sell a book or whatever it is. I started this broadcast to inform our people because I know most people I know are working really hard, 1 and 2, 3 jobs, just take care of the kids, their family, whatever. People are struggling right now. So I want to make sure you are in the know because the jobs that I do several different contracts. I'm hustling all day to make money and whatnot, and I'm always in tune with what's going on in the world. I do a lot of driving, and in my car I have all the best stations out. I don't play a lot of music in my car. Most of the time I'm listening to the business radio. I'm listening to what's CNN. I'm listening to what's going on in the country. So I want to give you guys some jewels tonight to make sure you understand. Just because you have a couple of jobs and you work in 3 jobs, you can take care of your kids, it's not going to be an excuse for you, family. It's no excuse. You know why? Because nobody cares about us. Nobody. And it's sad to say that even people in our own race of people, all our skin folk and our kinfolk, they don't care about what's going on. So I'm going to give you some numbers today. If you have children, listen in closely what I'm going to tell you today. If you have young children, if you have young adults, or you are parents, because most of our listeners, family, are mature individuals. We don't have a whole lot of young, under 25-year-old listeners. I know this. I know who's on this call. I know who the people calling. I know who's on who. So I'm telling you, family, in our 20s, we didn't think about life in the future. We just was living, doing our thing. But in this time, you have to be putting into your children the future. What kind of decisions are they making for themselves? Because if you don't do that, family, they won't have a future. So this is a good segue into my topic tonight, the 50-year work cycle for Afro-Americans. What does it say about our future? Some very big decisions have to be made, and I mean right now, family. We are facing the type of crisis that will be many history books written about. This time we are living right now. How will those books be read, though? Will it say the African Americans faced great hardship in the 21st century, but rebounded to greatness? Or the African Americans faced great hardship in the 21st century, and they were exterminated through tactical, economical policies and neglect from the black community leaders from a political standpoint all the way down to the fatherless homes of many and countless drugs and crime-ridden streets under the call came from 45th president to eventually perform the ethnic cleansing. I said 45th president. So we have the 44th president right now, President Barack Obama. He ain't going to be the one to do this. I said 45th president to eventually perform an ethnic cleansing through gentrification and martial law. Since crime, drugs, and prostitution was rampant, while the black church, which used to be a symbol of strength, kept quiet, while pastors lined their pockets from hopeful black women in the poverty-stricken ghettos of America with 3 Ks. How it reads depends on what we do in the next 2 years, family. That's the second part. First one could be lit of they had hardship and they bounced back into prosperity. The second could be written, the latter where I just wrote about the negative things happening right now in the history books, and how we come out of these things, family, is going to depend on what we do in the next 2 years. Make no mistake about it. I don't care what you heard. I don't care what OG told you. I don't care what they say on TV. I don't care what your pastor told you. I don't care if they told you, your grandparents told you. We living in a very volatile situation. We living in a very changing world. And if you're not abreast of what's going on right now, you see, I live in these streets. I talk to the young people who come here. I talk to a lot of foreigners. I talk to a lot of white people. I talk to a lot of black people. And I investigate indirectly on what they're doing, how they're getting it done. And I'm going to tell you, family, if you only could see ourselves at this time, we are losing on every possible front. So what? We got people in college more than before. So what? If we don't have any wealth in our community, this is all useless. We need power right now, fam. We need power. We need wealth. We can kumbaya anytime we want. But if we don't have these things right now, family, the rest is not going to matter. You will be praising God in your own home, which you should be doing anyway, but you'll be praising God with no black church, period. You see, we're facing gentrification and then eradication of the black race in America. I've been to Hawaii twice, family, and go to the mainland, Honolulu. At one point, it was Hawaiians everywhere. I went to Honolulu after all of that passed. There's mostly Japanese running Honolulu. Go check it out. You'll see. The Hawaiians you'll find working the most menial jobs on the island, in the kitchen, mopping floors, janitor services. And on top of that, the dilution of the Hawaiian people is great. Try to find a pure or even a 75% Hawaiian in Honolulu today. They're being breeded out, and it's happening to us too. So, I'm going to give you some numbers before we get into your future. As I read these things, family, I want you to really think about your future. If you have any children or you want to retire earlier, think about the stream of time where you are. Or if you're not married, you're looking to get a significant other or a spouse or whatever it is, think about your future and look at the things you got to choose out of this kind of society, see? Now, I'm going to read you guys something that's brought out in the U.S. News. Why Black Americans die younger. Okay? I'm going to read you an insert from this, okay? There's a chart, family. It's called U.S. life expectancy by race. Okay? It's from 1970 to 2010. Okay? Stay with me. The chart shows black people live average in this country around from 1970 to 2010, average of 74 years old before they pass away. That's the average. White people, 79 years. So on the average, white people live 5 years longer than black people. So let's see some factors involved in why that might be the case. Okay, they say health is an issue. Okay, we don't have the best health care. We're not getting taken care of properly. Okay, they says in 2012, about 13% of babies born to black mothers had low birth weights, meaning they weighed less than 2,500 grams, compared to with 7% of babies born to white mothers, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. While the infant mortality rate for white America is 5.2% infants out of 1,000 births dying before age 1. Okay, that's white folks. Infant mortality rate for black America is much higher, 11.5 per 1,000. So here we got the babies. Just in the beginning, family, look at the beginning. Out of 1,000 births, 5.2 children, white folks, kids, before age 1 die. 5 out of 1,000. For black people, black mothers, 11 out of 1,000. So that puts us on par with Mexico, family, considered to be a third world country almost. Now, how that's terrible. Think about that. Look at the infant mortality rate in the U.S. They say 2 worlds. Number of infants dying before age 1 per 1,000 births. And I'm going to get you the list here. I'm going to show you the list here. The list is showing from, I'm going to read from best, I'll say from best to worst, okay? Japan has the best rate. 2 out of 1,000 die. Japan, okay? Above them, Switzerland, 3.73. We'll just call it 3. 3 out of 1,000 babies die before 1 year old. Cuba, 4 out of 1,000. We're talking about Cuba, who just got opened up. No interaction from the U.S. for some time, 50 years or more. Then they got white America. They separate white America from black America. Go figure. White America, 5 out of 1,000. Okay. Overall, United States, 6 out of 1,000. Russia, 7 out of 1,000. Babies died before 1. Costa Rica, 8 out of 1,000. Died before 1. Thailand, family, 9 out of 1,000. Died before age 1. Fiji Islands, 10 out of 1,000. And here we got Black America, 11 out of 1,000. Mexico, 12 out of 1,000. And Malaysia, 13 out of 1,000 babies died before 1. And the last one, China, 14 out of 1,000 babies died before 1 year old. Think about that. We are only we're third from last place, family, and we're not even a third world country. But we're living like we're in a third world country in America. Now, what I want you to understand about this, what I'm reading to you now is, I'm talking about babies' numbers before they are established good in the world, before they're even walking on this earth on their own, with numbers higher than Mexico, with numbers higher than Thailand and Costa Rica, the Fiji damn islands, numbers higher than Cuba. We almost beating China. We're fourth in line, only 3 above China. And if you know anything about China, how everyone walks around with these masks on, they have so much manufacturing problems over there because they don't care about the people like that. They have you in the worst situation with mask on, chemical waste. The civil rights is non-existent as far as how to take care of the people, as far as how they're absorbing so much toxins in their work environment. They work 6 days a week over there, if not 7. Sweatshops, okay? Even when we're living in America and we only beating them by 2, really, because they're third in line, okay? That's the babies. Now I'm going to get into your situation. I'm going to talk to you about something else. I want you guys to understand that a lot of this stuff I'm talking about tonight, family, you think you know the solution? What do you think the solution is? Better yet, why are we having these problems? And I argue anybody, these problems because we are poor as a people in America, collectively. There's a few Negroes with money. Yes, a few. What are they doing for the overall group? You see, we've been taught to be against each other, or we've been told, if you take care of your community with this money, we can cut you off. You see, when you feed the white man's table, if they're feeding you these millions of dollars, if they're responsible for you getting these contracts or whatever it is because you betray people, or you get on Fox News, people like that, like Stacey Dash, betray people like that, they paying for her to do certain things. When you a slave to them like that and sell your own people out, you only eat at that table as long as you playing house Negro. Okay? So the real problem we have, family, is 2 things. It's the poverty, and it's also the prison system, the jail system, the injustice system that we have to go through every day. System of white supremacy is killing us on all levels. If you don't know, family, at this point, Ebola and AIDS were both chemical warfare injected upon the black community and black and brown people. These things like Zika virus, come on now, family. You can't really believe these things happen naturally. You really can't believe that. It's very naive for us to believe these diseases only happen in Central and South American and African countries. It's real naive for you to believe that. It's real naive for you to believe that. Europe is the most nastiest people on this earth. I understand people take baths once a week. The way they do things, unsanitary. But they don't have no disease that's erupting out of their country first. It's always in third world countries, China, African countries, and South and Central America. Yeah, how can that be coincidence all these years, family? As long as I've been alive, swine flu, China. Ebola, Africa. AIDS, Africa. Central South America, Zika viruses. Really? You cannot believe that. So that's the thing. I'm going to give you 40 more reasons why we're having the problems we're having too. 40 reasons why our jails and prisons are full of black and poor people. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna open the floor up to you guys to offer some solutions. Then I'll tell you what solutions I have in my mind for it. Okay? I'm gonna go through this real quick. I'm not gonna read the whole thing about everything, but you must know these things, family, because these are very serious problems that we're dealing with. Okay? Very serious. So there's 40 reasons why our jails and prisons are full of black and poor people. And I'm going to read some numbers to you. Okay? Now, the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ, reports 2.2 million people are in our nation's jails and prisons, and another 4.5 million people are on probation or parole in the U.S., totaling 6.8 million people, one of every 35 adults. We are far and away the world leader in putting our own people in jail. Most of the people inside are poor and black. Okay? Here's 40 reasons why. Now, 40 reasons why. Number one, it's not just about crime. Our jails and prisons have grown from holding about 500,000 people in 1980 to 2.2 million today. The fact is that crime rates have risen and fallen independently of overgrowing incarceration rates. So what they do, they make the jails bigger. So we have more, they got to fill them up. Number two, our problems, why I have more poor and black people in prison, in jail, police discrimination. The first step in putting people in jail starts with interactions between the police and people. From the very beginning, black and poor people are targeted by the police. That's number two. Number three. Let's see here. I wrote these down, typed these up for you. Number three, police traffic stops also racially target people in cars. Black drivers are 31% more likely to be pulled over than white drivers, and Hispanic drivers are 20% more likely to be pulled over than white drivers. Number four, once stopped, black and Hispanic motorists are more likely to be given tickets than white drivers stopped for the same offenses. Okay, that's four. Number five, once stopped, blacks and Latinos are also more likely to be searched. So they stop you, that's one thing. They give you a fat ticket, let white people go. Then they won't stop you, they search your vehicle. Most of the time they search. And they're 3 times more than often than Hispanic drivers, 2 times more often than white drivers to be searched. A large research study in Kansas City, family, found when police decide to pull over cars for investigatory stops where officers look into the car's interior, ask probing questions, and even search the car, the race of the driver was a clear indicator of who was going to be stopped. 28% of young black males, 25 or younger, were stopped in a year's time versus white men who had 12% chance and white women on a 7% chance. In fact, not until black and men reach 50 years old do the rate of police stops for their kind of treatment dip below those numbers. So think about that, family. Not until you get about 50 years old, you stop getting harassed by the police as much. 50. And we wonder why we're having the problems we have today. They are particularly targeting our people at a very early age. This all affects your future. You're going to see here in a minute. Number 6, traffic tickets are big business. And even if most people do not go directly to jail for traffic tickets, poor people are hit at the worst by these ticket systems. As we saw with Ferguson, where some of the towns in St. Louis receive 40% or more of their city revenues from traffic tickets. Tickets are money makers for towns. So not only are they hurting you, your future and your family's future, they make it getting paid on it, funding everything. Number 7, the consequences of traffic tickets are much more severe among poor people. People with means will just pay the fines. But if you are poor and working people, fines are a real hardship. And we know unpaid tickets can lead to jail. They'll get a bench warrant for you. That's number 7. Number 8, in schools, African-American kids are much more likely to be referred to the police than other kids. They have a problem in school, family, your child will be called. They call the police on your child. That's what they're trying to tell you. Number 9, though black people make up about 12% of the U.S. population, black children are 28% of juvenile arrests. The DOJ reports, Department of Justice, that there are about 57,000 people under the age of 21 in juvenile detention. The U.S. even has 10,000 children in adult jails and prisons any given day. Okay. Number 10, the war on drugs targets black people. Drug arrests are a big source of bodies and business for the criminal legal system. Half the arrests these days are for drugs and half of those are for marijuana. Despite the fact that black and white people are using marijuana at the same rates, the ACLU found a black person is 3.7 times more likely to be arrested for possession of marijuana than a white person. Number 11, many people in jail and prison because the U.S. has much tougher drug laws and much longer sentences for drug offenses than most other countries. Drug offenders receive an average sentence of 7 months in France, 12 months in England, and 23 months in the U.S. Half the time, family. Number 12, the bail system penalizes poor people. Every day there are about 500,000 people are in jails who are still presumed innocent and waiting trial just because they are too poor to pay money to get out of on bail. Not too long ago, judges used to allow people to go home. They was poor to still be free. While they were waiting the trial while they're waiting for trial, they sent them home. In 2013 study of New York City courts, over 50% of the people held in jail awaiting trials for misdemeanor or felony charges were unable to pay bail amounts of $2,500 or less. Only $2,500 family or less, and they didn't have the money. 13, jails and prisons provide a lot of jobs to local, state, and federal officials. To understand how this system works, it is good to know the difference between jails and prisons. Jails are local, usually for people recently arrested or awaiting trial. Prisons are state and federal and are for people who already have been convicted. There are more than 3,000 local jails across the U.S., according to the Vera Institute, and together usually hold about 500,000 people awaiting trial, and an additional 200,000 or so convicted on minor charges. Over the course of a year, these local jails process over 11.7 million people. Look at this business. Number 14, the people in local jails are not there because they are a threat to the rest of us. Nearly 75% of the hundreds of thousands of people in local jails are there for nonviolent offenses, such as traffic, property, drug, or public order offenses. 15, criminal bonds are big business. Nationwide, over 60% of people are arrested or forced to post a financial bond to be released pending trial, usually by posting cash or a household payment, paying a bond company. There are about 15,000 bail bond agents working in the bail bond industry, which takes in about $14 billion every year. $14 billion. Might be a good job to have a bail bondsman job, right? 16, a very high percentage of people in local jails are people with diagnosed mental illnesses. The rate of mental illness inside jails is 4 to 6 times higher than on the outside. Over 14% of the men and over 30% of the women entering jails and prisons were found to have serious mental illnesses in study of over 1,000 prisoners. In many of our cities, the local jail is the primary place where people with severe mental problems end up. Yet, treatment for mental illness in jails is nearly non-existent. So you have problems in prison and jail, mental illnesses, and they ain't getting treated. Number 17, lots of people in jail need treatment. Nearly 70% of people in prison need the medical criteria for drug abuse or dependent, yet only 7 to 17% ever receive drug abuse treatment inside prison. Number 18, those who are too poor, too mentally ill, or too chemically dependent, those still presumed innocent, are kept in cages until their trial dates. No wonder it is fair to say, as the New York Times reported, our jails have become vast warehouses made of primarily of people too poor to post bail or too ill with mental health or drug problems to adequately care for themselves. Okay? Poor people. Number 19, poor people have to rely on public defenders. This really pissed me off. Though anyone threatened with even a day in jail is entitled to a lawyer, the reality is much different. Many poor people facing misdemeanor charges never see a lawyer at all. For example, in Delaware, more than 75% of the people in its courts of common pleas never speak to a lawyer. A study of Jackson County, Michigan found 95% of people facing misdemeanors waive their right to an attorney and have pled guilty rather than pay a $240 charge for a public defender. 13 states have no state structure at all, none, to make sure people have access to public defenders in misdemeanor courts. Number 20, when poor people face felony charges, they often find the public defenders overworked and underfunded and thus not fully available to provide adequate help. In their case, in recent years, public defenders in Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, and Pennsylvania, a lot of bad states for us, were so overwhelmed with cases they refused to represent any new clients. Most other states also have public defender offices that have been crushed by overwork, inadequate finances, and do not measure up to the basic principles for public defenders outlined by the American Bar Association. It is not uncommon for public defenders to have more than 100 cases going in the same time, sometimes several hundred. Famous trial lawyer Gary Spence, listen to this, who never lost a criminal case because of his extensive preparations for each one, said that if he was a public defender and represented 100 clients, he could never have won a case. Think about that. If you don't have the money and time to get a lawyer, look what happens to you. Number 21, lots of poor people plead guilty. Lack of adequate public defense leaves many people in prison to plead guilty. The American Bar Association reviewed the U.S. public defender system and concluded it lacked fundamental fairness and put poor people at constant risk of wrongful conviction. Okay? All too often that these people who are in this situation plead guilty, even if they are innocent. This is sad. Without really understanding their legal rights to or what is occurring. The fundamental right to a lawyer that America assumes applies to everyone accused of criminal conduct effectively does not exist in the practice for countless people across the U.S. So you have a right to attorney and all that good stuff. They read you Miranda rights. Not really happening, family. Number 22. Many are forced to plead guilty. Consider all the exonerations of people who were forced by police to confess, even when they did not do the crime, who were later proven innocent. One longtime federal judge estimates that there is so much pressure on people to plead guilty that there may easily be 20,000 people in prison for crimes they did not commit. 20,000. Number 23. Almost nobody in prison ever had a trial. Trials are rare in the criminal injustice system. Over 95% of criminal cases are finished by plea bargains. In 1980, nearly 20% of criminal cases were tried, but that number is reduced to less than 3% because sentences are now so much higher for those who lost trials. There are more punishing drug laws, mandatory minimum sentences, and more power has been given to prosecutors. See, we get pushed into the system. And a lot of people, I see them on the prison movies they have on TV, they just plead guilty. Because if they go to court trial and lose, they have mandatory minimums. They do 20 years. This is killing our people. 24. Poor people get jail, and jail makes people worse off. The poorest people, those who had to remain in jail since their arrest, were 4 times more likely to receive a prison sentence than those who got out on bail. There are tens of thousands of rapes inside jails and prisons each year. The DOJ reports over 4,000 inmates are murdered each year inside each year. As U.S. Supreme Court Justice Kennedy told Congress recently, this idea of total incarceration just isn't working. And it's not humane. We, society, and Congress, and the legal profession have no interest in corrections. Nobody looks at it. Number 25. Average prison sentences are much longer than they used to be, especially for people of color. Okay? And number 26, there's about 70% chance that an African-American man without a high school diploma will be in prison by the time he reaches his mid-30s. The rate for white males without high school diploma is 63% lower. So if your children, family, don't have especially the young men, if our young black men don't even have a diploma, they are 70% likely to end up in prison, family. 70%, 27. Almost 1 of 12 black men aged 25 to 54 are in jail or prison, compared to 1 in 60 non-black men. That's like half. Almost 1 of 12 black men ages 25 to 54%, compared to 1 in 60 non-black men. That is 600,000 African-American men, an imprisonment rate of 5 times that of white men. 5 times as much as white men. And you got people out here in the street. I'm a black people, just pull up yourself by your bootstraps. Do this, do that. That's why you're doing bad, because you ain't taking care of yourself. We're getting targeted, family, in a major ways. Okay? And you have to be educating your children on what to do, how to do it. Otherwise, you get in this category, and it's downhill from there. Number 28, prison has become a very big private business. Corrections Corporation of America owns and runs 67 for nonprofit jails in 20 states with over 90,000 beds. Number 29, the Sentencing Project reports that over 159,000 people are serving life sentences in the U.S., Nearly half are African Americans, and 1 in 6 are Latino. The number of people serving life in prison has gone up by more than 400% since 1984. Okay? Number 30. Inside prison, the poorest people are taken advantage of again, as most items such as telephone calls to families are priced exorbitantly high, some as high as $12.95 for a 15-minute call, further separating families. Number 31. The DOJ reports another 3.9 million people are in probation. Probation is another racket. Probation is when a court puts a person under supervision instead of sending them to prison. Probation is also becoming a big business for private companies, which get government to contract with them to collect outstanding debts and supervise people on probation. Okay? So, probation is a racket. Let's look at parole. Parole. DOJ says an additional 850,000 people are on parole. Parole is when a person who has been in prison is released to serve the rest of their sentence under supervision. Okay? Number 33. The DOJ reports in 2012 that as many as 100 million people have a criminal record. 100 million people. And over 94 million of those records are online. So everybody can find your history. Number 34. Everyone can find out people have a record because it is so easy to access the record online and court records. People who have been arrested and convicted face very serious problems. Here we go. Getting a job, renting an apartment, public assistance, and education. 87% of employees conduct background checks. Check this out. 35. Race is a multiplier of disadvantage and unemployment for people who get out of prison. A study from Professor Deva Pager demonstrates that employers who were unlikely to even check on a criminal history of white male applicants seriously discriminate against all black applicants and even more so against black applicants with criminal records. So sometimes, family, they see a white person, they assume he's okay. They don't even run a damn background check. I'm telling you right now, I know a couple cats could pass for white. They handle money. And I know they didn't do the background check on them because he got a felony and he's still working. Had it been me, no job. Okay? Number 36. Families are hurt by this too. The Sentencing Project reports 180,000 women are subject to lifetime bans from temporary assistance to needy families because of felony drug convictions. So they cut some of your aid for the females with kids. You get a record, a lot of different aids get cut off for you because you have a felony. So 37. Convicted people cannot get jobs after they get off. More than 60% of formerly incarcerated people are unemployed 1 year after being released. It is surprised that within 3 years of release from prison, about 2/3 of the state prisoners were rearrested. They can't get a damn job. What do? Go back to what they know. 38. The U.S. spends $80 billion on this big business of correction every year. As a retired criminal court judge says, the high cost of this system would be worth it if the system were actually working and making us safer. But we are not safer. The system is not working. So the actual dollars we are spending are another indication of our failure. The cost of being number one in incarceration is 4 times higher than it was in 1982. We're number one in incarceration around the world, family. Anyone feeling 4 times safer than they used to? Nobody. Number 39. Putting more people in jail creates more poverty. The overall poverty rate in our country is undoubtedly higher because of the dramatic increase in incarceration over the past 35 years, with one research project estimating poverty would have decreased by 20% if we had not put all these extra people in prison. This makes sense in the fact that most of all the people brought into the system are poor to begin with. It is now much harder for them to find a job because of the barriers to employment and good jobs directed by criminal records to those who get out of prison. The increased number of lost my place. Yeah, good job erected by a criminal record to those who get out of prison. The increased number of parent families because of a parent being in jail and the bans on receiving food stamps and housing assistance. That's a big deal, family. Huge deal. Number 40, putting all these problems together, and you can see why the Center for American Progress rightly concludes, today a criminal record serves as both a direct cause and consequence of poverty. Now, what does it say about our society? That it uses its jail and prisons as the primary detention facilities for poor and black and brown people who have been racially targeted and jailed them with the mentally ill and chemically dependent. The current criminal system has dozens of moving parts, from the legislators who create the laws, to the police who enforce them, to the courts which apply them, to the jails and prisons which house them, the people caught up in the system, to the public and business community who decides whom to hire, to all of us who either do something or turn our heads away. These are our brothers and sisters and cousins and friends of our co-workers. Now that I read that to you, I want you guys to tell me what you think is the problem for us and why, after 50 years of us working, we have nothing. You tell me, what does our future look like today? What if I just read you all these things? Now I'm opening the lines up. Press 1 and to get in the queue, and you tell me, what does that say about our future in this country? Oh, I see somebody want to speak. Hold on, let me see. Last 4 digits is 5769. Welcome to the show. You live?
What's up? What's up, West Coast Wolf?
What's up, Crow? How you doing, man?
Well, I was doing a little bit better until I heard all this stuff, but I'm doing good, though, man.
So what does our future look like in this country? Did you heard all the things I read?
I heard everything. Our future looks like it did when we first were drugged into this country, to be totally honest with you. And slavery never ended. It was just transferred over to the prison system. The problem, one of the main problems, is unfortunately we don't have a head start like the Europeans do. And unfortunately, a lot, not all, but most of our, I'm not even going to say parents, we can go back to our great-great-great-grandparents, never either had the opportunity or denied the opportunity to pass down what little they had to family members. And so that created a chain reaction up until this day. And so that's our main problem, is that the parents don't pass down things to their kids. I'm not gonna fault our great-great-great-great-grandparents, because I think they were denied the right to even own property and just own businesses to a certain point.
That's correct.
But
that's correct.
Yeah. But I'm gonna stop about, and I love my grandmother to death. I'm not mad at anybody that didn't do anything, but I'm gonna say my grandmother was born in 1917. So I'm going to say, between her and all my granddads that passed away before I was born, if somebody could at least rub 2 pennies together, so to speak, and do something for my parents, and then my parents could instill the same thing within myself. You know, my father had the desire to start a business. He always talked about it, just never did it. He was heavily involved in religion, and I believe that religion is a beautiful thing. However, I believe it can sometimes distract and sidetrack people from pursuing certain things. So that's the problem. I mean, even, not to put your business out there, but even things such as supporting your movement, you know, I know you kind of shared with me some information.
I was going to bring that up.
Hey, you shared me some information, and basically out of, let's just say, I would imagine you have roughly 50 to 100 members. 100? Mm-hmm. I believe only 3 have financially contributed to the work that you do. And see, that's the problem. That is the problem. If we ask for help and assistance to fund something that can educate us, because I've been educated tonight, surely we should contribute. And that's the problem. That's the problem. White people are at least 50 times ahead of us. And they put their kids are born 50 times ahead of us, because they have certain wealth put before them. But we can make a change. I feel that we need to separate from society and start our own group. I feel that we need to join the black banks that have been established and make our money pass through our hands 5 or 6 or 7 times before it passes through another race's hands. I feel that we need to, I remember you mentioned this years ago, and I'm going to end it on this. I remember you mentioning that if we had a fund and got things together, we could get our own lawyers and attorneys to protect us when things such as being arrested falsely happens. You know, it's sad to say that a black man and a black man's family can't come up with $2,500 or $4,000 to get their loved one out of jail on either true accusations or false accusations while they're in wait trial. It's just sad. We could change it because we spend a lot of money going to see Kevin Hart when he comes into town, going to see the best concerts, compilations, getting the nice shoes, the nice cars. So we got money. It's just we are all on the individual course, and that's just so dumb because it's to our demise. So I, for one, do my best to support your cause because there's nobody else doing it. And that's what we need to do. We need to work together. It can't be 10 cooks in the kitchen. We got to let one cook be the cook, listen to that cook, and us other ones need to follow the lead. You know, that's another problem amongst black people. Everybody want to be the cook. And I'm done on that.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that, and put you on mute. And you know, he's right. I'm going to just bring it up now. Let me tell you something. There's a donate button on our website. It's www.bayareablack.org. It's a big red donate button. Shout out to Edwin. He's donated to the page. Shout out to Leon. He's donated. Shout out to CJ. He's donated a lot. Those brothers right there. And let me tell you something, black people. I'm not asking nobody to give them the money they think it's another service worth their time. But if you got $5, let's say if everybody putting consistently $5 a week on our cause, do you know how much we could do with that? Here's the problem. There should be no black family in America, none, that go to a lawyer or go get a situation with the police, and they cannot afford legal representation past the public defender. I just read to you, family, public defense is a joke, okay? It's a joke. My brother did some time, okay? My mother dropped $5,000 on a lawyer, two-bit lawyer. It did not help my brother do anything. $5,000. He wasn't even on the scene, and he got convicted because of hearsay. I'm telling you, family, I don't care who tells you what. I don't care whatever epiphany that your pastor or anybody you know tell you about what's going on in this country. I read you some real numbers, and I'm going to post this in the link in the YouTube channel. You can read it for yourself. We have maybe 2 years left, and I wish I was wrong. I almost think it's almost too late already. But family, let me just ask you a question, family. Just think about this for a minute. Do you have children? You're in a 50-year work cycle. I just told you guys prior to this, most of our listeners are mature people. We don't have no young people. We ain't got nobody under 30. Well, we might have a couple, I don't know. But for the majority of our people, we're 30 and above. And if we really have a 50-year work cycle, if you really retire now at 67 years old of age, that means if you're 30, I'm gonna say 30. I ain't gonna go no more than that. Let's say you're 30 years old today. Most of our people at this age of 30 have 1 or 2 children already, or more. Most, not all, but most of us have children. They got it from a marriage, or they adopted somebody, or just took in somebody, whatever, or they had it naturally with some woman, or whatever, or a man, or whatever. Let's just say you're 30 years old. If you're on a 50-year work cycle and you're 30, you got children already in this world already, your children are already behind if you don't have a plan. They are already behind. And if you got your kids going to college for some 2-bit degree that people can't pronounce or know what it does, it better be a marketable skill, family. This world is changing. I'm gonna tell you what the big cutting edge stuff is right now, because I know this is what I do. Right now, technology is where it's at. People are investing billions of dollars in AI, which is artificial intelligence. Coding is a good profession. Tech. It's called STEM: science, technology, engineering, and math. If your children are in college right now and they got some rinky-dink, I don't want to shit on nobody, but you got some rinky-dink degree, and they're not in those 4 categories, they better be the best at it. They better be amazing at it. Because there's some white person that you don't know calling the shots who gets that job, and there's an Asian person calling the shots who gets that job, and there's an Indian person from overseas or a Chinese person from overseas going to get that job. If your black child does not have the skill set to show they can do it better than them, I'm telling you, I wish I could tell you some lie which could sell you a dream. I ain't to sell you dreams. I'm into reality. That's one problem. The other issue is, if you have children in this world already, and you're not preparing them to deal with the police, you're not preparing them to know how to conduct themselves day to day. If a black man, especially a black man this time, if our people can get past the age of 25 years old without a felony or a speck on their record, they already half the battle is done for them. But we got to get them there. I read your reports today, family, that really broke my heart, because we're in dire situations right now, and black folks is kicking it. We kicking it like it's no tomorrow. And you know what? It ain't going to be no tomorrow for us in this country. If everybody donated $5, you ain't got $5 to donate to a cause that's going to help you, keep you informed of what's going on. No, you want to go to a concert, family? Spend $40, $50 on it. You want to go to a movie, spend $25, $30 on it? And yet you're going to wake up one day, family, I'm going to tell you the truth. Most of our people are going to wake up one day and not have no income coming in because they've been priced out of the market. There's only so many brothers can be the janitor, can be a truck driver, can be a security guard, can be a data clerk, can be a housemaid, can be a kept woman, can be a street hustler and get away with it and live to tell it. There's only so many things we can do, family, left. We've been priced out. So we're on a 50-year work cycle. And most of our people mid to late 30s, 40s, 50s. Okay, that's most of our demographic right now in this community, because those are the people who really give a damn about what's going to happen tomorrow in the future. So when you're young, when we're 18, 20 years old, we ain't thinking about life like that. We're just living. We're kicking. We want the fast car. We want the females. We want the nice, good-looking girls. We want the good-looking guys. We want to do this and do that, travel. White folks' family members are setting people up. Asian family members are setting people up. Indian families, I'm talking about real India. I call it red dot Indian, the one with the red on the forehead, that Indian, not Native American Indian, but Indian from overseas. I talked to several of them. Their families say this to them: you got three options in career. You're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a lawyer, or you're gonna be an engineer. Period. That's it. And let me tell you something, family. I'm seeing them make moves over here. People think China is going to be the next world power. China got some power, it's true. But what China made a mistake and actually had a population cutoff of one child per family until like what, the late or early 70s. They just released that maybe last year. So they have a real aging population. Most baby boomers at the time right now. They can't work forever, so they made a big mistake. But the Indian family, they booming. And they coming over here in record numbers, and they're going to have all the jobs. Because you know what? In a white man's corporate office, you got to hire minorities to make yourself fit in. They say, this brother right here, they say, you know what they'll do? They'll jump over the black woman and the black man, and they'll get an Indian. They still qualify for hiring minorities, family. It's game. It's serious game involved in this. And you're not watching this, you see? And you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it as a group, because you're not watching the game being played on you. See, no, it's no longer you can look over your shoulder and see your competition. Your competition is global now. It's online. People working remotely from home in China, India, Europe, even Africa. They call them telecommuters. You got competition out here, family, you don't even know nothing about. You have no clue. And I know to a lot of people, man, and let me tell you something. Most of our people are not technology savvy. They know how to work them phones. I'm talking about tech, coding, fixing computers, networking, all that. That's not a big deal in our market. We don't have a lot of people who can do that. You might know a couple, but demographically, no. We're not there. We're not in technology like we should be. We're using technology. We're buying technology. We're not creating technology on a mass scale. And I'm going to tell you, family, it's time to wise up. Because you ain't got but 2 years. Mark my words. This is what, 2016 is almost over. By the year 2018, you're gonna feel me. I'm seeing hardships that y'all ain't never seen before. Because I'm around a lot of people and I see a lot of different areas and a lot of different situations. And I'm going to tell you right now, family, you may be privileged. You may have a good job right now. But if you're not funding your future besides college education, you better get some real marketable survival skills. I'm talking about farming, survival off the land, knowing how to shoot. These are survival skills right now. Because when they come in, I'm telling you, gentrification is almost done. This is an economic movement to isolate us. Once we are isolated, you're going to feel what I'm saying. Family, you can't commute 3 hours a day. I mean, one way going to work and back and forth to get a job. Because if you don't have the money income to stay in the Bay Area, we're not going to be here. We're running out of options. Even the South is going up now. So let's get with it. I see somebody want to say something. I'm going to let you in. See, last one, this is 6647. 6647. Let's see. Okay, welcome to the call, 6647. Leon, what's up, baby?
What's up,
what you doing, man?
Man, yeah, brother.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, man. I wish you weren't lying, man, but like the mission area, like if I started taking more classes again, because like you're right, man, like these jobs, we got to create skills. Like this one thing I'm discovering is called copywriter. It is basically, like this, like since I've already write, like I'm trying to figure that out more, and they're basically the people that work with ads, but it's like, it has to do with marketing, but, I'm learning that, I'm learning code.
Tell people where you live so they understand what you're saying. Tell them where you live.
I live in San Francisco. I'm probably one of the 5 black guys here.
You in San Francisco, y'all.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Leon.
Yeah, man. Well, like, 'cause I was taking this one class in the mission, and literally, like, I was in Valencia, and Valencia is probably about, like, 22nd Street, whatever. That's the area that is, traditionally, like hell, like this, even 2 years ago, was Hispanic, like all Hispanic. It's like you have Chinatown, that's Hispanic town. And, man, it was a lot of white people. Yeah, I mean, the few Latinos I saw were like cooking. I mean, like they're probably always gonna have those jobs unless like they get to find some other cheap labor to do that. But literally, man, I mean 3rd Street, like the areas that was like traditionally the black area, that area looks super industrial. Now the Mission, that was the Hispanic area. Now that's turned into like a hipster kind of place. I mean, literally, like this, like they getting rid of us, man. I mean, the black, the brown people, like they, like so long, like with the black, like I feel as black people, when we were complaining and we're, trying to let our voice be heard, you have these other people that, oh, black people, you just complaining. I mean, now they're being affected by it too, and like as black people, like this, we literally gotta. Like, I don't care who you are, like, there's there's websites to go code. Like, it's my brother codes. And, this, even though, like, he works in, like, other industry, too, that I told you about. So, it's just like, yeah, so we have to build these skills like this. You all don't have to go to school for that. I mean, like, it is good to go to school if you can. But, like, at school, like, expensive as it has, like, I've noticed that a lot of, like, as far as coding is concerned, it's more about your portfolio.
That's right.
And so, I mean, like, what apps you make, like, what websites you created from scratch, those things are the really things that matter. Because, like, you can have a computer science degree. Like, I remember I was checking out that, and I've even was talking to this one guy, because I had an HTML class with him about a year ago, and we were talking to this Asian cat, and I was like, well, why are you taking this HTML class and you have computer science? And it's like, a lot of times, like, that's more like how computers work. So a lot of times they don't know, the whole web development. But a lot of the money is in computer engineers and web development. The cool thing about web development is a lot of times you don't even need a degree. Just have your portfolio. Like they have websites like Khan Academy,
I have something called GitHub too. On GitHub, you can actually upload your work and show to an employer, this is what I've built on GitHub. Okay. Look at your portfolio on GitHub and say you've built some things. You can get a job that way. They ain't getting paid for six-figure income or high five-figure income.
Totally. Like I like I live in San Francisco, and like this, like a lot of these big tech conferences come there, like, and I talk to several guys, like, no, like a lot of these guys don't have degrees. Not only that, a lot of these guys are even high school dropouts, but they just were like, like the guy that created Tumblr. Now, like to the young people that are listening or whatever, like I don't suggest your kid drops out of school, whatever, but I'm just saying, like this, if you're like, I can't do this, go do that, build your portfolio. Just literally go to kind of like, like once you build your portfolio, go to GitHub. But before that, W3 schools, Code Academy, Khan Academy, I think it's Udacity, all those different things.
Udacity's one. You know what? You may remember some, Leon. You know what? I saw this family. There is a school for kids now. It's like coding for kids in San Mateo. People not knowing. They have a school. They have a program for little kids. I'm talking about. I saw little kids going in there about anywhere from 6, 12 years old. After school, they got a coding school for kids. I forgot the name of it. Look it up. It's in San Mateo. Listen, man, and you think our kids doing that? You think our people doing that? No. And number one, it's probably going to pay a nice little chunk of change. But this is how they keep themselves ahead of us. They are funding the future while we out here getting $300 Jordans and whatnot. Man.
Totally. Well, the website.
I see a lot of hands. Go ahead. Well, I got some hands raising up on it. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, like the websites I named are free, so it's like you literally don't have an excuse. Don't get me wrong. Like it's good to be able to have a teacher, this and that, but you know what? You can go at your own pace. Study that. Just have an internet connection. Like this, if you don't have an internet connection, heck, go to Starbucks. A lot of this stuff you can even use on your tablet. So, I mean, like, or your phone. I mean, it's best to have a computer, obviously, but I mean, like, we have no excuses. And like, who knows how long this is going to last, because you literally have other countries, third world countries, going into this stuff too. But what this teaches us is that, like, we all can start our own businesses. We all, can learn code. So, I mean, like, these other people are doing this, and, like, they're getting this money, which is why, they could move entire populations somewhere in the suburbs, and those suburbs going to quickly lose those resources. So now you're away from the major city, you're around other poor people that got to commute. Some of them can't commute, so maybe they even lose their job now.
Right.
Because, like, most of the jobs are here. So, I mean, literally, we on borrowed time. I'll be 2 years.
It's scary, bro. I'm telling you. People don't know what I see. This is my business to know what's going on in the world and around here. It's scary what I'm seeing. I can't believe what I'm seeing, and it's moving so fast, bro. I'm scared for my people because we kicking it. They just stalling us, bro. They're stalling you until they get it finished. Until they finish this whole thing, then it's a wrap. I'm telling y'all.
Totally.
I'm telling you. It's almost over, man. It's depressing for me to know this. I mean, that's why I had this channel, bro. I want to educate my people. Listen, y'all, you better get with it. This is not a game. These aren't jokes. I'm telling you, I'd read your statistics and whatnot, of what's going on in the world today. And I told you both sides. You seen what we're facing. We're going through a filter system to destroy us. And on top of that, economically, we're getting destroyed. On top of that, we're getting destroyed mentally. And on top of that, we're not putting our kids in a position to be ready for the future. And that means we killed from last year, we killed from our past, we killed from our present. Now they're killing our future. You see? Let me let somebody get in here. I got a couple of hands in here. Thanks, brother. Oh, boy, everybody got their hand up now. Okay.
All right, brother.
All right. I got area code, not area code, I'm sorry. Last 4 digits of your phone is 8730. I'm going to let you in. Welcome to the call. You live West Coast, Woodbury, Black Community Reloaded. What's your name, brother? Where you calling from?
I'm from Sydney, but I'm calling from Antioch, but I'm from SoCal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's real low, though.
So, okay. I try to talk up as much as I can.
Okay.
A lot of what you said is true, and this has been going on for, like you said, 50 years.
Right.
However, having said that, how many members do you have right now that are on your call right now? And I'm just asking a question.
What's that?
Yes, how many?
We had about 10. We dropped off.
Okay, but following you for a while, how many do you have?
Oh, we got about 100. That's my point. They're not serious.
Right. No, because I'm on the same page with you. Okay, so the big thing is everything that you talked about is true, but we need to look at ourselves and start making some changes. Now you said 2 years. Yeah, right. But you said 2 years. My prediction is we got 2 decades left because I'm from the 60s generation. So I came up during the 60s. The reason why I say 10 years, 20 years, is we're going to be in what we call economic slavery. So basically what you're saying is going to be that. But having said that, I'm letting you know that somebody told me about you, and I've been on the phone every Monday for about the last 4 weeks. But your movement, what you're trying to do, is we need hundreds and thousands of people.
Yes, sir.
So my question, and this would be to the audience, what can we do to advocate your vision so we can create a movement throughout the United States? Because you are on point.
I appreciate you.
You can't do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself. And this is the issue that we have in our culture is we don't work together as a team. Now, we also understand that this did happen from slavery. I studied other cultures. I studied Koreans, Filipinos, Armenians, and the Hispanics. And all of them have a cultural collectivity. Everything that you talked about is true. But what can we do, and I'm talking to your audience right now, what can we do to gain more traction across the nation for your vision, just your vision alone about what you're talking about? Because the thing with black folks is we used to be progressive. We're not progressive. We're reactive now. So if you scare us, we may start to work together just because we're afraid. But we have to paint a picture. We have to paint a picture that they can clearly see that we're going to be in economic slavery by year 2065. And what that means is we will not be able to have jobs because in other cultures, the economy will dictate that. And all the cultures right now, as that other brother mentioned, those other cities, like you hear Chinatown, okay, you hear Koreatown, okay, but you don't hear Blacktown.
Right.
You don't hear Blacktown, okay? The reason is because we don't work collectively. So until we start to work collectively, this is falling on deaf ears. So again, my question to you and to the audience, what can we do to gain more membership to support your vision? And that's my question.
Okay. All right, my brother. I got a couple of hands going right here. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, stay with us. We got a few people sharp out here. I got Eric, last four digits of the phone is 8035. 8035. Welcome to the call. Gator, the original agitator.
Hey, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. Hold on like a hubcap in the fast lane, but we here, bro.
Yeah, as long as we keep spinning, it's going to be all right. But I agree with what the last brother just said, what you said, and what a lot of other folks have said. But just so the audience know, I don't mind saying I'm 68 years old. I'm retired. But I am going to go to learn how to operate heavy equipment right now. I've already put my stuff in. I'm going to go out there and do that. Why? Because I was a union guy. One thing for sure, they're not going to stop building buildings. They're not going to stop building parks. They're not going to stop underground utilities. They got this whole infrastructure of this country to be redone. Therefore, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters, glaziers, all of those jobs out there are jobs that are coming. As I go up and down this state of California, everybody that's out there doing what we used to do in terms of running that equipment, but before that, it was simply that hand job of taking a shovel and a hoe and a rake and get out there and do it that way. It's not there because those machines are out there, and that's what's doing it. All of this stuff is going to have to be redone. Everybody is not able to deal with a lot of these computers and things that you guys were talking about, although here over in Richmond, California, I did notice that there is a program that's doing what you said, that's coding for these kids right here in these schools right here, and they even got a little I guess you call it a tablet or something like that, and they got a little robot. And they're letting these kids do things with the tablet that makes the robot do things where they're coding that in right there, and they're learning how to do that. Chevron is putting that out there. That's a good thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good thing right there. But the fact that all of these other jobs are out there, this infrastructure in this country has to be redone. I mean, they talk about it everywhere. We drive up and down these messed up roads. We see pipes bursting and sinkholes coming and electric grids going down and all of this. We got to get our people channeled back into that. At least we can do that. And when we start doing that, those of us that can afford to sit back, I have 20 acres of land sitting in a long way off, DeKalb, Mississippi, that I'm willing to have that particular site, something where we can come in and learn how to deal with it. I'm going to go down there at the end of November when hurricane season is over with, and I'm going to look at the land, I'm going to put it out, and I'm going to have it ready for us to do what we want to do down there as far as it concerns heavy equipment and that operational thing right there. I have contact with all of the labor councils, especially the building trades councils in the Bay Area, because you got all the counties got their own trade people. The folks there in Oakland, I know. The folks here in Martinez, I know. San Francisco, San Mateo, San Joaquin, up in Sacramento, and so forth. It's time that we learn those skills. The problem is it's just passing the basic math and reading and comprehension test in order for you to come in there and do that. And to start, I tell the individual, here it is, a job that you can start at $19 an hour. You stay there 6 months, they're gonna go $22 an hour. And people will. Some of my nephews have told me I can't get there. I'd walk. I'd catch the bus. I'd do whatever I had to do when I don't have a job to go get a job that was there. Folks like me that are old enough to offer an individual a job or say go down there and talk to this person who you've already talked to before because you think they got a little something about themselves, they don't even go and do that. It's a laziness out there, and it's a fact that a bunch of youngsters out there think that, not all of them, but a lot of them think that something is just simply owed to them. That's all it is. And you guys are absolutely right about the entertainment, the baby Jordans, and all of that stuff. I know a young lady that went out and said, look at my baby, isn't he cute? Look at him with his little Jordans. I said, how much those shoes cost? Shoes cost $300. You in a damn apartment riding around in an Audi that's paying you, that's taking all of that from you, when you can take that same amount of money and go out and get you probably would qualify if you saved for a year, stop buying Jordans and crap. You know, you should have got a or something like that, and you would have had enough money to end up with a home. That's what you would. Or maybe you wanted to buy that duplex or triplex where you got other income coming in. We have lost the ability to end up having different sources of income coming in each and every month. They don't think like that anymore. I know it's a mindset, but they don't think like that anymore. They got to get out there. That's what's going to be left for those that cannot deal with the computer age. And I told somebody the other day, he got mad because there was no black folks working in this one store. I said, but Tim, you end up going to the Chinese restaurant that you like, you got one of those, it's not there. You go to that same gas station down there, they're not there. If you're going to protest, why don't you protest that? He looked at me like I done lost my mind, but had to turn around and say, yeah. So it hurts my heart to see where we're going, to know, for me, with my few years on this earth, and to look back, I was fortunate. I had a father who was there. When my dad used to work at Mare Island, he passed all the tests in the world, but he was either overqualified or underqualified for the job. That's way more than 50 years. I can remember my grandfather, 200 pounds of cement on each shoulder, walking down, building stuff out there. He even told us when we were living in Oakland, as they built the Nimitz, that portion that broke, that fell down and collapsed. I was a little boy.
Mandela Parkway.
Yeah. He ended up. He told us, he's talking to my mom and dad. He said, "They're not building that right. That thing gonna fall one day. Y'all watch what I tell you." I heard him say that and was alive to see it fall. Okay, wow. It's that mother wit stuff that's out there. We can do this kind of thing, and we have to go. Somebody said earlier on the program that we need to have money go circulate through our hands at least 6 times before we go elsewhere. That's right.
That was Edwin.
Look at the pop stores that are in the neighborhood around us now. All of us in our 40s, 50s, 60s. Those mom and pop stores are ran by the red dots. Right now, the gas stations that we used to have, they ran by the same individual. They're in this community, taking that $2 trillion, putting it in their pocket, teaching their children, sending them to school to come back to be your overseer. Because we're going into that slavery that is still that illusion that we have, that we out here doing what we're doing. And we really, really, really need to stop calling. Yes, sir. I just had y'all. I've been listening to y'all, getting mad over here, but I had to say that. If nothing else, get you a trade. They build buildings in Greece and Spain, and they're building them in Africa. They build them everywhere. If you got that skill, you can go anywhere and everywhere and make some money doing that. And in other places, it's going to treat you much better than what they treat you here. Get your passport, get yourself together, learn a trade. Please, learn a trade. I started off as a draftsman and ended up being a planner. Okay? I took care of me and mine, and I'm still taking care of me and mine because I know I got to do it. And you better, for every dollar that you got, you need to put 50 cents up and make it off that other 50 cents. That's what you need to do. Stop spending money on them damn Jordans and stuff. Excuse me.
That's right. You tell it like it is. Speak freely on here. We say whatever you need to say. Shit. That's what it is.
Yeah, well.
I appreciate you. I got a couple hands coming up, March. Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and get some more hands in here. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. I got 2697. I'm going to open your line. 2697. Everybody hand up now. 2697. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
CJ, my brother. That's another one of my donation brothers right here. Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, I appreciate the last caller, man. It's kind of like you stole some of my idea because I was thinking about this thing. I was thinking about it. Ideas, solutions. Because there's a lot of problems for black people. But the solution, and I was thinking to myself, I said, well, my friend Sean, he has some great ideas, but he doesn't have all the answers. And that's what basically what you're saying, right? You're asking people, for their input. So these people that are listening gotta start coming up with, I want to talk about the problem a little bit too. But at the end, I got a couple of solutions, a couple of answers. This thing about this big circle that you were talking about, and it's really, I just really hadn't thought about how in depth it is, how it's set up. It's like a big circle for us. Okay, we get bad schools, we get the worst books for the black schools. We don't graduate, right? And then we can't get a job.
Right.
And this thing with the internet, I mean, it's set up against us too. And so then we can't get a job, and so then we try to sell dope, or we're committing crimes, trying to support our family. Where does the dope come from? The white, we aren't bringing it in. I don't know any brothers with any boats or planes is bringing that stuff in. So the people are bringing it to us, right, to help us kill ourselves. And they're putting us in jail. We're trying to support our family. They're putting us in jail, right? And they're talking about building bigger prisons so they can put more of us in jail. And it's just like a big circle. It's a big circle, and it's just really bad. And I was thinking about what you were saying about the 20,000. I'm not sure what you were reading that from, but the 20,000 that were thought to maybe be innocent in jail, in prison.
Right.
I mean, that's just,
it's a gamble, my brother. The plea bargain. It's like they get, brother, you take the plea bargain 3 years and you out, or you go to court and risk losing the case, get 25 years. They say, give me the plea bargain. See, It's depressing.
Exactly. And it's, I've been there myself with the plea bargain thing. I've dealt with it. I've did it myself. I mean, it's like, and they coerce you into doing it.
Right.
It's like you feel like you don't have any other option. And then you got the public. You got the public pretender. That's what he is. You got the public pretender. It's a joke. The whole thing is a joke, and it's like we don't see it. And I just what I said again about the brother who because that was one thing I wanted to mention, about the Carpenters Union. I mean, the thing is, here's the real truth. If you can go to school and get any kind of you don't have to be a mathematician. All you have to do is just learn the basic items, right? You get the basic items, and you go in there. It don't matter about no record. If you can build a house, they don't care nothing about no record, no past, none of that stuff. You can come in there at starting off at $19.95 an hour. That's big. I mean, well, it's not big, but I mean it's a good start. From when you compare it to McDonald's and these other jobs, And the other thing I wanted to mention is I was thinking about it. If black people, we need to help ourselves, right? And I was thinking about, this is just an idea that I just want to put out there. That is I have an account with Legal Shield. I don't know if you heard of Legal Shield. They're a lawyer group, right? Mm-hmm. And they say if you get in trouble, you just call them. If you're about to get arrested, whatever, you call them and they come and they represent you, right? And they charge $19.95 a month, And after you think about these $300 pairs of Jordans and all that other silly stuff that we be doing, in these concerts and stuff, invest the money in something that might help you, And I'm thinking about this as far as we should be able to. I'm thinking about Legal Shield. We should be able to do something like that. I'm putting it out there, because I know there's got to be somebody who's some lawyers or somebody who knows who's listening in. We ought to be able to form a system like that for ourselves. Where black people help black people with the. I mean, paying $19.95 a month, that's not that much money. It's really not. When you think about some of the things that, I love my black people, but we be doing some silly stuff with the money sometimes, And $19.95 a month on something like that. I'm not saying that we should be going to their lawyers, but at this point, I don't have a choice. We don't have anything set up like that. But that would be a great idea for us to be able to set up something like that.
And you know what? Brings to my point, CJ. I was waiting to see people thought about it, but I've built the system already. Here's my thing. I could go nonprofit with it. But when you go nonprofit, you gotta abide by their rules, and they funding your program. They can say yay or nay. I want a system, grassroots system built by the people, but I can't fund this whole thing myself. But here's my other point, like everyone's bringing out, if we got 100-some listeners, right, and nobody's donating in $5 a week or something like that to the movement, you think they're gonna pay $20, $50 for a service that they need? They got to see they need it and appreciate it. But I already know we need it. But I already built the system. I'm just waiting for the right people. So as we grow this thing, I'll unleash it with the right people. If every black man can benefit, that's fine. Can we get 500 to 1,000 people who can benefit? I got the system. I already built it. I've already built it. Well, they're just waiting for the right people to show up. That's all I'm doing. There ain't no question in my mind what's going to happen. I know what we need. I just built it. I wrote the numbers to you guys to show you the numbers tonight. But I built the system already to make it work. But we ain't finding people yet. We got to find the right people. People who can put their money where their mouth is. That's what we need.
Exactly. So that's what I'm going to do right now, because you know me, and so I know if the proof is in the pudding. So maybe if I show somebody, maybe somebody else will be able to step forward. Okay. So I got 200 for you right now. And when I'm finna go right in there. I'm finna hit that button. I'm finna hit that button and donate 200 right now. So
I appreciate
put your money where your mouth is. Everything sounds good. These people are talking. You guys sound real good, man. But if we don't come together, man, nothing happens. Nothing's gonna happen.
I tell you right now, when it's your child, you get started by the police and they do them dirty. And I pray to God they survive it. How much money you got for a lawyer? You follow me?
Exactly.
I built the system. Look, I got a system that built. We're going to have all been, I'm telling you right now, we already have plastic, like Costco membership cards. I got a company already get ready to issue my cards. A card that, you know what, you can stop by the police or whatnot. Anything happen, you have on your card. And on that card is a phone number. You make that one phone call, there's going to be somebody to deal with you, and they're going to respect you and treat you respectfully. But the Bible say, you can't throw pearls to swine. You follow? I ain't going to unleash something like that. We ain't got the right people yet. You follow? We got a few of y'all. I appreciate you, CJ. CJ donates a lot. Edwin donated. Leon donated. Marsha donated. These are my brothers and sisters. They believe in the system. They believe what we're doing is real, is serious. But like for what we need, family, it's gonna take money, and I ain't gonna cut no corners on it. It's gonna take money to get what we need, and we gotta get serious. And we find the right people. CJ, right now he's brought a lot of people to the call. Like the brother last time, I think CJ brought that brother. A lot of people. If everybody went out and brought 4 or 5 serious people, not somebody your play date, the people you go out to the clubs with, people you go out to the concert with, not them who ain't serious about their life. Somebody who's serious, grounded in sound-minded judgment, and see the future, what's going on. Bring people who have put their money where their mouth is. We can do damage out here, family. We don't need everybody. But what I want to do is have a system set up to where it's going to protect our people. And our people is who? The very black community people who see the cause, who fund the cause. And when you get pulled over, things happen in your life, you will have to make them pay for doing you in. We're gonna make them pay. You see, that's what I built.
Exactly.
For that. But we ain't got them yet. We ain't got the right people yet, and I don't know how long we're gonna have before we can get these people together. But I tell you one thing: this economic collapse that's coming, if it affects us to the point where nobody has money anymore in their pocket to just get by, it's gonna be a little too late. But that storm is coming. It is coming. I see we got people calling in here today too.
Hey, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Sean, let me say this on the way out. They're really not understanding. I hope that some of the people that I've been putting in work trying to get people to listen to the station, right?
I know you have.
And they not understanding. They're gonna wait until it's too late. They're gonna be calling me, crying, asking for help. I'm trying to give them help right now, and they need to heed that thing, and they need to listen in, and they need to come with any type of input. You don't have an input. At least sit down and listen in.
Right.
Maybe you'll hear something that will help you to move forward.
Right.
Yes, I just wanted to say that. I'm out.
Okay. I appreciate you got another person to call. Appreciate you, CJ. Love you, brother. Keep up the good work.
All right.
All right. We got 8016. 8016. You welcome to the show, West Coast Wolf. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
Cuz, bro,
how you
what's
doing?
up, bro?
Oh man, I got through, man. I heard a lot of good points, man, and I wanted to answer that one brother's question where he said, what's the solution? And I think one thing everybody got to realize is that you got to get back to the basics, and the basics is knowing who your enemy is. Your enemy has been doing this since they came and took over everything in America, you know what I mean? So everything, they're spending billions of dollars on this technology thing, but put billions of dollars in sociology, psychology, and all these other things, and it's not a coincidence that all these kids are fascinated with these shoes. I mean, it's just shoes, but the little subliminal messages that they put in the commercials and things like that, and the stars and people they use to promote these shoes and stuff like that, that's the things that people don't really, they know it's there, but it's kind of one of those in a gray area, in a shadow kind of things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you don't believe that there's an enemy out there, which is brainwashing you, you're not going to do nothing about it. And the second part of that is you have to put value, and we have to convince these people that there's a value in the information that you're getting. You know what I mean? So Tony Robbins, he has these seminars. He charges $4,900 or something like that.
Let's say $5,000,
per person, yeah.
Right.
So $5,000 for one person to come in and hear him talk, and I've heard the things that he says, and it is inspiring. But the thing our people need to do, we realize, is that we need to first place value on the information that we're receiving, then apply it. A lot of these corporations, what they do is they have these. The first thing they do before they do anything is they get a think tank together. In this think tank, they say, hey, you know what we're going to do? The closest thing we got to a think tank right now is this radio show. that I have contact with personally.
This look,
you know what I mean?
You are absolutely. It's my cousin, right? Cousin, bro. You are absolutely right, bro. This is a think tank. Exactly, but we try to look for the right people who are thinking.
Exactly. And the people don't realize is that if you're not plugged into something positive like this, you're being programmed whether you want to or not. I don't care how strong-minded you are. You're dealing with billions of dollars worth of programming on the news, on the radio. You don't listen to the radio and you don't watch TV. Fine. You drive down the street, billboards, promotional signs, all this stuff from McDonald's on down to even at Barnes and Nobles. The things that's in the front of the store is subliminal messages pointing you in a direction and you don't realize it. I mean, if you don't realize it, you're never going to make moves forward. So first thing I think everybody needs to do is know that you're being programmed. If you don't tap into something like, you're going to go back to default. And the default with everybody is
the system.
What they programmed you to do. And what they want you to do is fall to the back of the line. Right. You know what I mean? That's the natural thing to do. So you have to constantly, consistently program yourself, reprogram yourself. And if you got children, you have to, when they get home from school, my kids, they come home, I'm like, hey, you guys, you know, daddy got to get all that stuff that they showed you at school out of your system. You know what I mean? It's like a deprogramming every single day. It's a debriefing. Debriefing, yeah, right. Exactly. Because they're not learning from just the teachers, they're learning from the kids, and the kids learning from the parents that's plugged into the same system. So you can't get away from it. It's impossible. So that's what I think everybody needs to realize, is that you're being programmed, and it's not like a conspiracy theory. It's out there. The information is out there. That they had. We talked about it before. I can't think of it right now.
It's called NLP, neuro linguistic programming. Google that. That's what we were talking about before. And a lot of people, it's like like you mentioned earlier. The people still think that, you know, they hear the information. AIDS was a biological weapon, but the way a part of the system is, if you don't have no proof, you know, you ain't nothing you can do about it. So it's just one of those things that you need to put value on what you're putting into your brain, and know that if you're putting nothing in there, it's going to go back to the basics. And that's how I feel about it. And one of the best things I think everybody could do is be on the call and it's going to take capital, serious,
and bring somebody else. And then it's going to take capital, it's going to take money. But it's going to take, you got to learn from your enemy. What are these people doing to brainwash us? What are these people doing to make us move left when they want us to go left, move right when they want us to go right, stop when they want us to stop, and go back, get into the back of the line without even realizing it? Instead of spending $200 on a shoe, why aren't we spending it on something that we can learn and use without? The bottom line is we all have an issue with not realizing who our enemies is, and that's like the summary of it all, because I can go on and on. You know, I could talk for hours about that stuff.
But we do talk around about it sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
I appreciate you, cousin. I appreciate you. I got one more caller in the queue.
For sure. Appreciate
you, man. Yeah, my cousin brought some good points up, man. And, yeah, man, you got to be plugged in the system, man. I told myself, man, this call came about by just dealing with so much stuff. And listen, I know it's people out there. I know it's some smart black people left. And what I mean by that, no disrespect to nobody, I mean that there's some folks who want to be outside this system, who wants to be debriefed, who want to be decompressed. And if you just want to vent about what happened in your week, how's it going on, you got to have somewhere you can go. I'm telling you something, I was on the verge of exploding in anger until I met George Frazier. He runs the Power Networking Conference every year. Let me tell you, that year I first went to George Frazier's conference, I felt a load off my brain and my body, because I'm dealing with so much in this white supremacist world, dealing with so much to make a dollar, dealing with disrespect all the time. Seminar, that 4-day event, it changed me forever. I said, you know what? George Frazier told us all. He said, you guys are the leaders of tomorrow. Go back to your city and stay where you come from and share what you learned here today, and help build your community back together, connecting the dots. I'm telling you, ever since that day, I've been a changed man. Because family, I'm telling you, I ain't gonna front. I thought it was over for us. I thought everywhere I go is drama. People on the street just gave up, zombied out. People in corporate America kissing ass to be there, sucking up, want to be white, not really proud of being black, trying to hide who they are. I never was that dude. So I'm gonna imagine the world. Let me tell you something. Imagine the world. I feel like Neo. If you've seen The Matrix, you know what I'm saying. I felt like Neo for so long. I didn't know who I was and like what my mark in the world would be. I knew who I was personally, but I didn't know in my life what was my plan. What should I be doing with my life to help my people? You see, it bothered me because I couldn't find strong-minded, smart, sound-minded, balanced individuals. You got a lot of people out here smoking, bro. A lot of people out here in the black community hardcore. You can talk to them, they can grind, they hardcore, banging, whatever. They might be tough dudes, but you can't have a decent conversation with a dude without them having blah, 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 and just flashing you into a fight with a dude. I couldn't find people who were like me, who wanted to be passionate about their people, who want to see a change. God damn, I want to see a change. And I want to find people who want to see a change too. I want to find people who are pissed off. George Fraser said on the stage, family, he said, if you ain't angry, you won't do a damn thing about it. And I was angry for a lot of years. That conference, I left there a changed man. I knew who I was, but I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing to help my people. And that's why this show has been years in the making. And my friend Evan, we talked about it, he said, man, you know what? He said, Wolf, you got a lot to say. You got a lot of information. You need to start a radio show. So I said, I've been thinking about that. Truth be told, to me, that was God talking to my spirit. And he told me, you know what? I need to go and do this. I don't care who we got on the call. I don't care who's down with us, who ain't down with us. I started this thing. And it's growing. I found everyone was on there with me. Then Leon came on board with me. These are my good friends. Met CJ, one of the events that I did. CJ came on board with me. Marshall was down with me the whole time too. I got people that's been with me. My cousin boy just talked to Jason, just down with me for a while from the beginning. These are my core foundation members. And we're growing. We're finding people who want to talk about the real thing in America. We ain't finding people who want to lay down and roll over. Well, it's not all the white man's fault. But they do have a part to play in this. What you doing about it? Oh, well, it's the black man. They don't want nothing, so I'm going to just go do me. You know what? You do you. You make $1 million a year. Do what you're going to do. But I'm telling you, family, it don't matter how much money you're making right now. They're going to shut you down, too. You might be the last to go, but you're going because you're still one of us, believe it or not. So, I just been going for a long time. I'm looking for the right people. And then I found a few more cats in here, and we brainstorm. But I'm telling you, family, I read them stats today about what's going on in the world and 50-year cycle. I'm telling you, I gave you all this to let you think about things, to make you think. But I built a system already that I feel will work for us. But we ain't found the right players yet. Because I know when we ain't found the right players yet, I'll see donations in the Bay Area Black Community website from a lot of different people. www.bayareablack.org. When that donation button is hit and we getting some serious funding in here, we start having more events again in the Bay Area, got the equipment, then I'm gonna know we there. But as long as we get the same people donating and nobody else, I know we ain't there yet. And I'm not gonna throw pearls to swine. But I'm hoping we can get there because I'm gonna take my little people who with us now. I'm gonna inform and we're gonna work together and brainstorm and get things what we can do as a group. And when this thing start pop up in this country, family, when it's coming, family, it's coming. Believe it or not, believe what you want. Tell you right now, if you call my phone number, if you know me, you got my number right now. If you call my phone number, you'll know one thing about it. It goes to voicemail and say voicemail box is full. Why is it full? I know I got messages, I check them, but you know why it's full? Because I'm getting ready to do some things differently. I know what's happening in the world today, and ain't nobody gonna be calling me complaining about and trying to get help and assistance from me after this door closed. See, I know what's going to happen in this country. Those who are my family, I consider my friends my family. I don't have a lot of family, but those my friends are my family. They can connect. They can get a hold of me. But if you don't know me, you're going to get voicemail boxes full. And I don't call people back that's not in my circle because it's a lot going on in this country right now, family. That's why I want people to get serious people on this call with us, find the right people because when this thing pop off, the gate gonna be closed. I can't help you if you ain't even at square one with us. See, people in my members, we've been doing this for a while since March, I think Started in March. We're doing this for a while now. I know who's on this call. Most people, I know who the people are. You see? And they can get whatever I got to give. I'm going to help them best I can no matter what happens. Ride or die people with me right now. But if you a new booty, we call you a new booty, and you want to come in here last minute because you've been on the call for a while and you some things popping off and you want some assistance, you want some help, and you ain't in the circle, I'm sorry. But you dragging your feet too long, and we going on, family. We trying to survive this deal. So I'm looking for people who want to be down with us. I got one more caller in here. I've been waiting for a while. Now it's 9339. 9339. Welcome to you live with the show. 9339. Hello.
I appreciate you, Sean.
Yes,
can you hear me?
How are you? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes,
good. Ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing it.
Okay, so you're doing your thing, and congratulations.
Okay.
Good show tonight, and appreciate all the callers' comments before. I wanted to kind of piggyback on one of the callers and get back to the potential solutions, or the question that he posed was, I believe it was Sydney, that said, basically, how can we grow this thing? How can we get people on one accord? You know, how can we get thousands of people on the line instead of 10 or 100? You know, and to see your vision. There are so many, and like another caller said, there's so many, I guess he called them chefs in the kitchen or whatever.
He said cooks in the kitchen.
There are a lot of people with plans.
10 cooks in the kitchen.
Okay, cooks in the kitchen. Yeah. And there are several people who are like-minded across the country. There are several people who have their own platforms and their own vision and their own plans. I don't think there is necessarily one right answer or one right solution. I think there are many, right? But we do need to do them collectively as a people. And how do we do that? How do we attract all these people to be together in one place at one time? The largest platform that I've seen is the Black Lives Matter movement. They have had conference calls where they've had nationwide, I guess, upwards of 300 people on the call at one time from across the nation. Now, like everybody, I think the people who create these platforms kind of have a personal agenda attached to it too. Some of the people's platforms, for example, Black Lives Matter, they have an underlying thing that I don't agree with, right? A movement going on that's being pushed with their platform. That might be the same for I haven't seen your vision. I don't know completely
what is their underlying vision? What are they trying to do? Because from what I've seen, they have no platform. They have no structure.
Oh no, they do.
No structure.
Actually, they do. They actually have a lot of. They have actually a lot of potential laws to go on to that they're trying to get to be passed into bills in the Senate. They actually really have a really good legal team, and they have a lot of propositions and proposals to try to get bills on the ballots regarding Black people and the inequality, right? But the underlying part that I don't like personally, and I'm entitled to my own opinion, this is just who I am, is the gay agenda. And so I'm not down with that personally.
And let me just add to that, my friend. For those who don't know, Black Lives Matter movement is run by a white person. I don't know if you know that or not. His name is George Soros. He's funding the Black Matter movement. And I'm sorry, family, if it's a white man funding a billionaire white man, billionaire gold investor, look him up.
Actually, wait.
Funding the organization, I'm not going to put a lot of faith in Black Lives Matter movement. I'm just not. I'm sorry.
So wait.
That's my feeling. Ain't nobody funding this thing but us.
So what I found out about that is that that's a lie that's been put out there, that he actually is not funding it. They pulled his tax records from – he has 3 major corporations. Of course, he has a lot of LLCs, but they pulled records from all of his tax and they're like, they don't know how he got the credit for it. Records? He is a billionaire. George Soros' records. I'll send you the video where they –
You need to send me that proof because
yeah, I will.
I'm going to show you some stuff myself, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So anyway, but who started it was for Black gay women. But anyway, that's and they get funding. Yeah. They're not even a nonprofit. But anyway, back to the point of trying to get everybody together. Not everybody's going to agree with everybody's points on their agendas, right? Like I just mentioned one of theirs that I don't agree with, but 90% of them I do agree with. And like I said, I haven't even seen yours. I'm going to go to your website. I actually sent you an email asking you to send it to me. So I don't know exactly what your platform is and that, you know, if I agree with everything or not. But the point is, back to how do we get everybody in America, basically all black people, in one place at one time to look at this whole platform and to consolidate it into something that we can all get behind and actually start making a move on it. I mean, it seems impossible in one sense, but then we look at how does Michael Jordan do it when he has a new tennis shoe come out? How does Beyonce get the whole world to know when she's going to be in a particular city doing a concert and how much tickets are? Like, everybody knows. You know what I mean? Certain people have those platforms or that name that will cause everybody to know what's going on. So how do we do that? How do you get that kind of, you know, publicity or notoriety, or like whose name do you need on it to call everybody's attention to it? Like are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm listening. I'm looking at information about George Soros for you. I can see some information about George. But yeah.
Okay, so like Jada Pinkett, there are some famous black people that are really paying attention and that are into the hashtags in particular of the recently murdered people, right? And they've made songs and they've done different things, and everybody, you know, a lot of them have different foundations that are where they're giving back individually. But again, how can we become that collective unit like we were in the 60s, where it was like all black people knew what the agenda was, the movement. Now, whether you followed Malcolm or whether you followed Martin, there was still all the black people knew and followed one or the other. How do we get back there to start implementing something that's going to really make a difference? And I believe that for the most part, all of us who are like-minded know that our solution is within ourselves. We can't look to the outsiders, to, you know, any other race to help us, to give us those reparations and that mule and 40 acres and all of that. We have to do it for us, by us. So how do we connect? I'm echoing that question, and I'm looking for an answer.
I'm looking up some. Okay, there's a front man in the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm sorry, I don't agree. You say you don't think so. It's a front man. See, here's the problem with it. A lot of us don't understand white supremacy and how it works. They ain't gonna put it out there like that. It's a front man from the organization who has tied with George Soros. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Let's just put George Soros on the side. Let's put him on the side. Do you disagree or agree that they have invested? There's another institute that invested. What it says 100. I think it's where is it? I can't find it. They have a plan to invest $100 million next year into the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, currently on the board, right on the plate right now, is $33 million. Now, let me tell you why I'm different to whatever you've seen. If I had $33 million donated to my organization, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. It'd be a different story. And let me tell you something. Black Lives Matter movement. Let me tell you something about white supremacy. If they put you on mainstream media, know this. You have to understand this. You're not going to be on mainstream media without perpetuating a certain agenda for them. They ain't going to let you get on there and put down some real hardcore structure for black people. That's just not going to happen. So
totally agree.
That's why I'm in the background. See, I'm not going to go get when you take money from somebody. Dr. Umar brought this out beautifully too. When you take money from somebody, they have access to tell you what to do with your company. That's why nonprofit organizations like a lot of the churches, they are funded by the government's money. They can only say so much and do so much.
Right.
When you're funded by the people, you can do whatever you want. That's why I didn't go that route, nonprofit organization. Now, I'll tell you what my goal is. My goal is this. Just because I created, my goal is to protect our people. My company serves as a blocker. Like if you look at a football field, okay, I'll give you an example. You look at a football field, you have blockers, you have a center, you have a quarterback. I might be the quarterback in this organization who throw the ball, but the lineman who protects me, the lineman who protects the agenda of the team, that's the organization of our people. And I set this thing up to a way to where, you know what? The opposing team has to come through to get to me, to get through us. If you have the right structure to block, to buffer that impeding force against you, you can win. The problem is, I'm like maybe the center. I'm not the quarterback. I'm maybe the center. I hand the ball to the quarterback. I could be the quarterback or the center. But our thing is to go. My goal in this company is to make sure our children have a future to fall back on. If we cannot block the impeding forces of white supremacists in this country against us, if we cannot block them and they can attack and break our line and get to our children, we have no future here. We have none. So you show me organization, and you're right, there's a lot of platforms. But show me an organization that's really focused on making sure we have a future. I don't see nobody doing that. Everybody see people on Black Lives Matter, they got the little stuff on TV. But you telling me with $33 million donations, I don't care who gave it to you. You can't fund the community to start some kind of like leadership training program outside of the gay agenda and outside of a few signs on TV, a few interviews on TV. It seems to me they caught up with being interviewed on TV. They wouldn't put the wolf on TV because I'll shut it down. They'd be cut. This thing has been cut short. Cut this shit off. This motherfucker is crazy. He doing too much. Cut him off. Flip. Because I know. I just know how this white supremacist thing works. My cousin Jay talked about a lot of stuff, subliminal messaging, what we see every day. They programming us. Listen, they're pushing the gay agenda, like you said. They're doing that. And if you got leadership in any organization that's not ran by black men as leaders of the family, you're just perpetuating that we're not needed in the community no more, black people. We can have the gay people put above us because that's also the LGBT thing. They got the biggest grassroots movement funding in America right now, the LGBT. That's why everybody's afraid to talk about them because they come at you. So my thing is this. You can't have gay for, I'm sorry, people might be gay. I got people gay in my family. But you can't have gay people representing the black community. You just can't. I'm sorry. It's never going to work that way because what you're doing is you're putting up the leadership to actually look at that in a positive light to where it's okay to have black leadership running. No, we had to have male leadership. If you go to any African wildlife jungle reserve, nature's law runs first. If you remove all the black men, anything come up in the community, there ain't no black men to check it, it's going to be a problem. I'm sorry, I love my sisters to death, but there's no black woman in America can lead a community against white supremacy. It's just not possible because they don't fear. See, it's the reason why they don't black men so much. They don't fear the black woman. They use the black woman against us. They don't fear that. They fear the black man knowing who he is, receive his right position in the community, and taking leadership like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X did. That's what they fear. They don't fear our women. They took away the men, or they don't need us no more. So any Black Lives Matter movement, any other organization run by the gay community, man, that's not the same problem. The gay thing cannot, like Dr. Moore said, the gay community cannot be mixed with the black struggle. It's two different struggles, two different ones. So I can't support them because I'm getting marching. They got $33 million donation to somebody. Say it ain't George Soros, that's fine. But they got $33 million. You telling me $33 million you can't put up some of that money to like fund Dr. Umar's school? He only need $4 million. You got $33 million. I would do that. You tell me you couldn't put up a chapter in every major city in the country and fund it and teach our kids some skills for the future? They ain't doing that. What are they doing with the money? You see? What are they doing with the money? So I can't go up there and ask the white people for the money to fund me through a nonprofit organization. I'd rather do it grassroots because I know at least we know what's going on here. We have a board of directors talk about what we need to do for the community for our next thing we need to do. We're working on. But if we don't have no buffers for our children, see, I feel like right now, 3 generations through the crack cocaine epidemic in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. We lost a generation from Vietnam War vets who went there, put them on the front line to get killed in the Vietnam War. We lost a couple of generations from World War I and World War II to have our grandfathers to pass on wealth to us. These are all things we've lost. So for us to start now and to run the black community back with a gay agenda, we ain't gonna never win here. We might as well pack our shit and move to Africa and then start there with some skill sets because we gonna lose again. Because these people are already grown. They're raising the vision in the community that gay is the way. And I'm sorry if you got a chemical imbalance and that happened to you, I get it. I got people in my family, I love them. But you cannot have that as leadership of the black community. It's not the same struggle. So I can't support Black Lives Matter movement on that alone. Number two, you too buddy with the white supremacists of this country. And I can't support that either. And there's a lot of people making money. Michael Jordan with $300 shoes. He's a billionaire. He spoke out about the black problems in this world. He donated to the police departments, and he donated to the Black Lives Matter movement or whatever, $1 million or whatever. Take that money, and why nobody funding Dr. Umar school? Why is that? Because if they really want to fix the problem, they would fix it. You see, that's why I think the race ain't our problem. We didn't create the race problems in America. Ain't my job to fix it. It's our job to deal with it and combat it. But ain't my job to fix it. We didn't create it. All these billionaires, if they really wanted to fix the problem in the community, they would have done it a long time ago. No, they ain't going to do it. You know why? Because they like this way. We got to be the bottom. We have to be the bottom until it's over. But that's our show for tonight, family. Those who haven't sent me email yet, send me text messages. Email me at bayareablack@gmail.com. And also, you can also send us a request to be on our Twitter, @BayAreaBlack. Follow us on YouTube, the Bay Area Black Community. Follow us on Facebook, the Bay Area Black Community. Tune in next week, 8 p.m. Pacific Time. We'll be back at you with another episode. But we'll talk about that and send me an email. We'll discuss that. But thanks, everybody, who have participated in this. It's been a long, good discussion, and it should be loaded on YouTube by tomorrow. God bless you guys. Peace out. Wolf out.